Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, you are not ready for this one because hip-hop streets are on fire. Jim Jones, who once walked around Harlem like a king, is reportedly crying after a shocking revelation that is so outrageous that even Maury Povich might yell, "You are not the father." Did I hear you correctly? According to shocking new reports, Chrissy Lampkin, Jim's longtime companion and reality TV Ride or Die star, may or may not have been smuggled out of a courtroom by a dubious intern with a bad Wi-Fi connection. Jim Jones recently learned that Chrissy Lampkin has been hiding a child all along. The treaty's duplicity and boldness are, is this the last nail in the coffin for the Ditz dynasty? More importantly, how did this ever happen under Jim's nose? Stay tuned. Grab some popcorn and buckle up because what I'm about to tell you will make hip-hop and love look like a Disney film. This is the scandal of all scandals, and we're digging all the way in the camera's flash. It's possibly hip-hop's most shocking betrayal ever. The whispers turned to gas, and the courtroom that was supposed to handle yet another celebrity drama in a calm manner abruptly turns into the scene of the most shocking betrayal in Harlem that has ever witnessed Jim Jones deceive royalty. Mr. We Fly High himself isn't soaring at all, according to our very reliable, by which I mean utterly dubious sources close to the dub. Rapper turned businessman is reportedly crying into his Louis Vuitton scarf. According to reports, Chrissy Lampkin, the woman who kept him down for decades and stuck by him through label disputes, tour drama, and enough reality TV fights, is the reason Jim Jones has just fallen under his weight. No amount of icy swagger or street cred could save him from the reality. Make us appear submissive. The woman whose devotion was supposed to be unmatched. The woman who, according to reports from what can only be described as the most contentious court hearing since Cardi B was found guilty of throwing shoes at dancers. Chrissy Lampkin's greatest secret has been kept hidden from Jim Jones, the public, and possibly even I understand what you're thinking. But believe me when I say that a man who once claimed to have eyes and ears everywhere could have missed a whole baby-sized elephant in the room. According to people in the know, Jim Jones, the janitor who overheard everything while cleaning outside the courthouse, was taken by surprise during testimony by bombshell documents that purportedly contained a text message. For those of you living under a rock or simply too young to remember the Dipset period, here is the history you need to enjoy. Receipts? Hold on to your wigs. And the alleged paternity report with Chrissy's name all over it. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin have been the pair of mayhem from Harlem block parties to Love and Hip Hop. And they nearly founded the pattern for being toxic, but making it famous through breakups, makeup, and on-again-off-again drama. Missed weddings, matching tattoos, and public altercations that had fans screaming, "Just marry her soon," we assumed. Then, in what witnesses described as the most intense courtroom clapback in history, Cameron, also known as Cam, entered the scene. Let's be real. If Cameron is in the room, something messy is about to go down, said TV history, as the camera allegedly slid into the courtroom like a pink Cameron dressed as a Grim Reaper, delivering the receipts for Chrissy's alleged treachery. He then abruptly pulled out an envelope as if he were at the Source Awards. And I'm going to reveal our anonymous legal source explains why my brother Jim Jones has been acting like he was in a love story while he was starring in a daytime soap opera. Kudos to the court sketch artist who revealed the truth. The evidence presented allegedly shows that Chrissy Lampkin was secretly involved with another man years ago, and their relationship produced a child named Jim. The courtroom allegedly erupted like it was the BET Awards when someone revealed that Beyoncé was pregnant again, and you could hear the screams. Jim Jones sank in his chair, removed his cuffs and sunglasses, and muttered to his lawyer, "I can't believe this." And who could he be? The man who built his image on loyalty, street code? And keeping it authentic for him, loyalty isn't just a phrase, it's his brand, his entire persona, to have his most trusted partner ride or die, allegedly keeping this kind of devastating secret. This wasn't just betrayal. It was character assassination in broad daylight. And if you think the courtroom was shaken, imagine how quickly the internet screenshots leaked. One Twitter user put it perfectly: Jim Jones finding out. Chrissy Lampkin has a secret child is the plot twist we didn't expect. Social media was ablaze with memes, hashtags, TikToks, and thought pieces from bogus relationship gurus who reportedly earned a master's degree in dipset drama overnight. Within hours, Chrissy's hidden child trended internationally. We needed someone to call Mama Scott soon as possible in 2024, while fans were busy calculating deadlines and performing celebrity paternity calculations. This occurred prior to the show. Insiders claimed that Jim Jones had stopped making appearances during season 3, slipped out of a book club hosting gig, and unfollowed Chrissy Lampkin. In 2024, unfollowing someone on Instagram is essentially filing for divorce. Meanwhile, Chrissy Lampkin has not posted or commented, which has only increased curiosity because, as any fake news investigator knows, silence is a thing. Or at the very least, it makes the story more. The other difference is that Cameron, who is usually the king of shady Instagram captions, has kept it that way. The world is now left with the one question on everyone's mind: how the hell did Jim Jones, a man surrounded by cameras, friends, and haters, miss a secret this enormous? Is this the ultimate betrayal? Or is there more to this story than we've been told? It's oddly awful right now, but if history is any indication, he's just loading the next round of petty, waiting for the perfect moment. The crowd erupted in shocked conversation as reporters and photographers pounded the courthouse steps like crazed beasts. And the judge slapped the gavel down just as the courtroom commotion reached a fever pitch. The judge said loudly, "We are adjourned until tomorrow morning. Further evidence and witness testimonies will be presented." The courthouse had been the biggest circus in town, with reporters, bloggers, TikTok investigators, and every shaved gossip page imaginable crammed outside like sneakerheads waiting for a new Jordan release. The morning filing had been anything but quiet by daylight, and the atmosphere inside was unquestionably filthy. Tensions were high at the courthouse when Jim Jones and his legal team arrived. He had on a big hoodie, sunglasses, and a face that said one thing: "I did not wake up for this." Chrissy Lampkin Cameron. Cameron arrived fashionably late, wearing a bright pink tracksuit that had what could only be described as "I told you so" spirit. The judge warned the next bombshell came when the prosecution, backed by anonymous sources allegedly including a disgruntled ex-friend and someone else, warned the courtroom to remain composed and that any outburst would not be tolerated. Of course, this meant nothing at all, because the atmosphere was too chaotic, gossipy, and sensational for anyone to behave. Described as a hairstylist who overheard everything, Exhibit A purportedly leaked private text message between Chrissy and a man who is only known in court documents as Mr. X. And Chrissy had reportedly rekindled an old romance around the time. Jim and Chrissy were presumably working on a wedding is what they call unquestionable evidence of Chrissy's alleged double life. The courtroom gasped, and even Cameron, who had spent much of the morning looking through his phone as if he was completely bored, raised an eyebrow at Jim, who allegedly froze, according to witnesses. The messages were full of cryptic flirtations, mentions of secret meetings, and the now iconic statement that had Twitter in complete meltdown. As the prosecution proceeded to reveal their alleged mountain of evidence, his lawyers muttered nervously that he had just been hit with a sledgehammer betrayal. Next came the purported bank records that showed Chrissy had been sending sizable sums of money each month to a private trust established in the name of a child, which was the prosecution's theory, was that Chrissy was providing financial support for a child that Jim was unaware of. The defense claimed that the payments were charitable donations and private family matters, but the damage had already been done. TikTok conspiracy theorists. assembled timelines, compared previous romantic relationships, and looked at hip-hop shows to find odd gaps in Chrissy's. As the circus raged online, Jim sat calmly with no tweets, postings, or even a passive-aggressive mood meme. Some followers started uploading side-by-side photos, Instagram posts, and even compared newborn photos of Miss X to try to establish likeness. One viral TikTok boldly said, "Look at that nose. It's genetics, girlfriend." Ha! Of Jim from the past versus the present. With headings like "This man has aged 15 years overnight. Prayers up." Cameron, of himself drinking tea with the caption, "Patience is everything." However, back in the courtroom, things were about to get much wilder. The next witness, a former friend of Chrissy who was protected by Jane Doe's status, claimed that Chrissy had allegedly confided in her years prior about an accident that resulted in a child, and that she had no plans to ever tell Jim. The courtroom erupted in gas. The judge slammed the gavel twice. And Jane Doe continued by accusing Chrissy of justifying for the first time since the controversy began. Jim was afraid that the truth would ruin not only their relationship but also their lucrative reality TV deals, endorsements, and public image as the ultimate hip-hop power couple. He concealed this by saying, "I couldn't risk him finding out. It would ruin everything." The rumors outside the courthouse had now burst into a full-scale media storm, with newspapers shouting headlines and the baby bombshell that shook Dipset Chrissy's deepest secret eventually exposing. Jim Jones from We Fly High to We Weep High. He looked up and looked straight ahead, unblinking, and his expression told it all. Fans loved the viral hit that showcased Jim's fame, "We Soar High," and a video that changed the tagline to "We Cry High." Another video showed Mona Scott Young, with devil horns, allegedly planning how to turn this into 10 new episodes of Hip Hop and Love. However, as the public laughed in the courtroom, the defense insisted that none of the evidence clearly demonstrated the courtroom was electrified, as reporters frantically took notes, claiming that the alleged messages were taken out of context, that the donations were charitable, and that the witness testimony was unreliable hearsay from a former friend who turned opportunist. The judge said that more witnesses would be heard the following day, possibly including Mr. X himself. When the court adjourned, Jim got up slowly, put the hood back over his head, and walked away without saying anything to anyone. Cameron followed after, laughing, as if he already knew he had one more trick up his sleeve. Meanwhile, sketch artists were documenting every emotional moment in the courtroom, while fans outside were live streaming in hopes of catching even a glimpse of Jim or Chrissy stepping in or out. The world awaited Mr. X to finally reveal the truth. Would Chrissy break her? Would Cameron's pity rule escalate further? The court date was set, and the media dubbed it Judgment Day for Dipset. Outside, fans gathered with placards reading, "Jim, blink twice if you are okay." Chrissy had a full side quest. And Jim didn't even receive the side mission notification. Case then, as if the drama gods were planning the final season finale, the shocking news flashed across everyone's phones. It wasn't verified, but it was said that Mr. X was headed to New York to testify. The streets went crazy, and Neil's helicopters for supposedly already airborne protection were boosted. The internet did what it does. The trial was expected to be the most intense yet, and as the sun sank over New York City, one worry persisted in everyone's mind. Jim Jones was going to lose not just his relationship, but his entire legacy, which the fans didn't have. Day 3 was just hours away, and as the countdown began, there were wild accusations, fake screenshots, and, of course, memes. The world held its breath, wondering what would happen next as the cameras, reporters, fans, and bogus experts prepared to pack the courthouse once more. The controversy wasn't slowing down. In fact, it was about to explode all over again. The sun rose over Manhattan, but the city felt darker and heavier, as if even the concrete knew what was coming. Crowds had already gathered outside the courtroom. On the third day of the trial, which was officially titled the Day of Murderer, X comes, people skipped work and flew in from various states. Influencers were live streaming from the steps. TikTokers were practicing their surprise face responses, and press bands lined the street. Then, an unmarked black SUV approached the door and stepped out of a tall building. The audience shouted, "Could this finally be him?" As the mysterious Mistex paparazzi snarled angrily and reporters hurried microphones at him. He said nothing, just straightened his tie and entered the courtroom, where Jim Jones sat solemnly with his attorney's hoodie. Cameron entered seconds after donning a varsity jacket and a face that cried out, "I live for this mess." The judge arrived, called for silence, and the final day of evidence began. His face was gaunt, exhausted, and empty. Was not the larger-than-life Harlem hustler we had known. The gallery leaned forward as if to hear the verdict of a trial under oath as Mr. X approached the stand. He claimed to have known Chrissy for years and that their relationship had once been more than just acquaintances. The gasps came exactly at the same moment when he revealed that Chrissy had become pregnant during a passionate affair many years prior and had given birth in seclusion. The courtroom sat in stunned silence as Jen Jones looked up for the first time in hours, his eyes focused on the man claiming to be the child's father, whose own brother had buried him. He said that Chrissy swore Jim could never know because she was afraid that telling him the truth would ruin Mr. X. He also said that he had complied with her wishes but continued to be involved in the child's life from a distance. Claimed to have said, "I gave her everything." Mr. X then revealed what caused Twitter to go into a panic, claiming that he and Chrissy had signed a private contract to keep everything secret, including Chrissy's monthly child support payments. The document was allegedly so secret that even Jim's own counsel was unaware of its existence. The court was certain of it, owned a copy, and when news broke and hashtags exploded during the Jim Jones trial, or Crest's hidden child, Mr. X's closed memes appeared in a matter of seconds. One well-liked post showed Jim Jones's Dipset chain altered with the words trust, difficulties rather than diplomats. While the defense quickly objected, claiming the documents were not authenticated and that Miss Dex was seeking notoriety. His words were a well-planned lie intended to destroy a famous marriage. But the damage was already done. The court of public opinion had already handed down its verdict. And Jim left the building with security cameras filming him with his head down and shoulders down, and Chrissy was nowhere in sight. Cameron, on the other hand, stepped at the judge, addressed the elephant in the room as the proceedings proceeded, although this case was legally still a civil dispute. The shocking evidence presented had drawn the attention of state and federal investigators who were suspicious of money laundering, unreported child support funds, and at the end of the day, Jim's counsel requested an urgent delay to review the new information and get ready for the judge to allow the defense against the frauds, which began to swarm like vultures. Record companies started to back away from possible partnerships with Jim, and sponsors secretly withdrew contracts. Reality TV producers discussed whether to delete or turbo the next season, may bring down the Dipset empire. Cameron declares victory as Jim plunges into career disaster. Of course, social media has its own viewpoint, with a viral TikTok labeling Jim the new Tristan Thompson of hip-hop Twitter. The court is scheduled to reconvene in 2 weeks, but the headlines couldn't wait that long. As the courtroom emptied, some admirers pleaded for forgiveness, while others declared that Jim Dunn had been playing the long game for years. Jim reportedly waited for a few seconds before leaving alone, and Cameron allegedly muttered something under his breath, telling you whether Jim heard or not. No one knows if Jim heard, and that was the end of the most dramatic courtroom scene. When the dips at the retail store mysteriously stopped the following morning, Jim's social media was silent until Chrissy finally broke her silence by posting a mysterious black square with no message, which further sparked fan speculation about whether it was an apology, a power move, or a departure. Meanwhile, Cameron presented a surprise Instagram Live called Petty Wins Again, where he nonchalantly recapped the entire drama for his fans while sipping tea while his favorite instrumentals played in the background. He ended the live with one last punch, saying, "At least I don't have to find out on TMZ." Legal experts commented on every media platform, asking whether Chrissy would face fraud charges and whether Jim would ever, as the topic dominated headlines for weeks. A blogger, podcaster, and armchair detective had a suspicion. Fans wondered if Jim and Chrissy would reunite if there was a chance to mend their brand, or if this had irrevocably destroyed not just a relationship but a whole hip-hop legacy. As of right now, there are no definitive answers. Chrissy is still silent. Jim is the ultimate villain. Or is there more to this drama than anyone realizes? Was Jim completely unprepared? Or were there warning signs that he chose to ignore? Will Cameron ever grow weary of being the king of petty spoilers? One thing is for sure, though, is just the beginning. There will be more leaks, receipts, and courtroom drama soon, and you won't want to miss them. Please leave a comment below with your thoughts. Ideas? Who are you on Team Cameron or Jim Chrissy? I want to hear it all. If you like dramatic celebrity drama with a dash of sarcasm, please hit the subscribe button and like this video. I promise you'll want to be the first to know when the next bombshell comes. Thank you for watching, and until the next time, stay dirty and stay suspicious. Don't get too comfortable because this story is far from over. We want to hear your wildest theories in the comments section right now. Celebrity, fake news, the tea never stops brewing. And that, my friends, is the messy, chaotic, jaw-dropping drama that no one saw coming. Jim Jones destroyed Chrissy, and Cameron is somewhere out there laughing like the king of petty he is. Since you internet detectives are working overtime on this one, please leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Was June really shocked? Or was he just ignoring everything? Is Chrissy playing some advanced survival game? Or is this the ultimate betrayal? And let's be honest, is Cameron just stoking the fire for fun? Or does he have a bigger plan up his sleeve? Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell as we watch celebrity drama because, trust me, in the world of fake news, you don't want to miss what's next. Scandals in the news just make the tea hotter. Secrets continue to get more soiled, and the drama never stops simmering.